This lowrider started everything.
Hey man, where you going, Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Far out, dude. We take you the whole way. Jump in.
What's it supposed to be anyway? Hearst?
What's the matter? You don't like cars?
Excuse me, 17 miles an hour?
15. Still doing your speed number, huh?
Yeah, well, what are you into? Miles per gallon?
Class. We're into class.
If we let our cares just drift into space, we can always find the time and the place. Maybe Saturn or it maybe Mars. The both of us just searching.
This car started everything. For me personally, it was transformed a couple times from different paint jobs. What you see is a car that is about 50 years old. Iconic, it has to be. It was done in lacquer. There's still crushed velvet interior from Bob & Sons. Well, come and have a good look. It's a 1971 Buick Riviera. Purchased it black with a blue interior, already came with rims. It was about 2 years old, took it all over the place. Down Whittier Boulevard, lowriders, 5 out of every 10 cars that cruised by were lowriders, and a lot of them had custom paint jobs. And I liked all of that. Eventually I changed the black paint job, painted it black again, did candy pearls that faded from blue, red to green, and a flake full roof that was like it was called Mira back then. There were lacquer paints. Called the car Rainbow Rib, did a black velvet interior. And then, you know, as you go on, then you start to go to car shows and then you see that there's more competition there. So I just continued with the car again. Found a painter, the best painters, and he was out there in the valley, Gary Bach, and I asked him to paint my car for me, but I wanted a mural on it. So his brother did murals at that time, and there was something off a Grateful Dead album. Don't like the music, but it was a cool little skeleton guy, long hair, Hollywood type with glasses. I want him on my trunk. I think he's the baddest thing out there, right? At that time. So they put the mural there, and I wanted him to do almost a two-tone and give me a side for his brother to continue the murals, because that's what I used to like at back in 72, 73, 4. If you go to car shows, you'd see a lot of vans and they all had murals, and lowriders were beginning to get more popular with murals. So that's what I wanted. And I had the artist, I had the painter. He painted this over pearl white, candy tangerine. It took him 2 days to shoot it. He thinned it out. It's all lacquer. The murals took about a month to do. Ben Baca, may he rest in peace. And I broke out with that car. Went to the shows, competed, wasn't happy. Got some little things rubbed in my face, had to go behind the curtains, cry out a little bit, come back and just reinvent the car. And then MGM was doing a movie called Corvette Summer. So they came across certain different car clubs. They wanted certain cars and they asked for me to film in that movie. So I thought I'm gonna step it up. I put T-tops in it, went out to Lancaster. We filmed Corvette Summer. And when we filmed that car, the guy driving the car, it's not me, black mustache and all that, looked like Tony Orlando and Don. That guy just mishandled my car. They took advantage of my car, played with the lifts like they should not have, damaged it, chipped the paint, turned it over the insurance at MGM, and they said, well, you know, I go, nobody can match the paint. I had to redo the whole paint all over. And then I remember the show that just happened to me about 3-4 months ago, and I just gave up right there and said, I'm gonna start all over. So I went back and said, let's save the murals, Gary. Let's repaint this whole car, but I wanna do modifications. So off went that T-top, put an Eldorado convertible windshield, cut the remainder of the roof off, narrowed up the hood. The hood used to be all the way out to here. Molded all the front. Anything that had body lines or seams on them, I molded the whole car up. Shaved all of it. I know I had to leave the chrome strips on the wheel wells because I didn't have too much chrome left. And this is what I wanted. And to change things up because of the death scene or the cemeteries, I put one of his famous boat patterns on there that Big Ed took the opportunity and painted. Sorrel, another close friend of mine, worked at that shop at that time. They went through all the body work and everything, and they perfected it to get it painted. And then they invited Gary over to paint this. Ed took the patterns, took it to that notch. All along I was going to Bob & Sons, who was the greatest upholsterer ever, ever. And you would never know that unless you had his upholstery or seen some of his work. We took a theme, we told him what I wanted to do. He just says, Joe, let's put a coffin, let's go all the way. And I didn't want that. He goes, but we'll build a bar out of it. Open, we'll have a hand holding a drink or something. Let's go all out, let's do that. I go, okay, let's go ahead. It took him about 3 months to build it. Whatever his last car that he did that paid $1,600, I went there with a deposit of $3,200. I wanted the baddest interior ever. Well, eventually the car got done. He did the seats in a coffin style. And as you can see, this is old crushed velvet. We're gonna talk about this car re-breaking out again in 1977. This is the way it looked. 1977. Yeah, I don't bring it out that much, but the paint job hasn't checked, thank God. It's still around. And that's the things, as we look at this studio, Legends Lounge, there's not too many of those cars left. If you do the math, you're looking at 77, you're almost 50 years old, this car. The murals were painted in 1976. It's like Ben Baca passed away at a very young age. He's around 23 years old when he passed away. And it's like his spirit is still in that car, protecting the murals. I was welding the front end to put square headlights. Everybody went to a break with the food truck, the lunch truck. When the guy was welding there, the car, the old paint caught on fire and it started to burn. So it burned the whole hood. It went all the way down the side of the fender, but it never touched the murals. I've told it before where the wheel axle of the trailer fell off and this car could have come down. The A-arms completely came off. As soon as we unloaded the car into the garage, the A-arm gave way and the car came down. It could have crushed the whole side of the murals. But there's just a lot of things with photographs. People have asked me to bless the car. I mean, whatever I do, I just feel that his energy and everything that he put into this car, the coincidences that are in the gravestones, there are dates that coincide with a lot of things. There's birthdays, there's everything on this car. And I take care of it to this day. It's got its little war battles, probably brought it out, 10 times, and I wanna fix them, but I'm afraid to do anything to it because that paint and the new paint combined, it could reactivate things and then I would be in a big mess because I couldn't duplicate that. Especially no one out there can shoot candy lacquers over pearl white. If you can, call me. But other than that, we know no one likes to shoot them. They fade, they crack right away. Well, almost 50 years here and it hasn't. Dress to Kill was also pinstriped by a very famous pinstriper, Dennis Jones. Dennis Jones striped this whole car. I chromed the entire undercarriage. Back then, you didn't chrome the block motor. You were insane if you did that. I had all intentions on pulling the frame off to chrome the frame. I had no limits. That's the way I was. I was a lowrider. I was a diehard before I even knew it. And I wanted to go to extreme limits. And I knew there were other Rivieras out there being built that were getting chromed out too, but I had to wait my time for my car to come out. And sometimes if you want it done right, you just have to wait. Bob and Sons would tell me there'll be other shows. I would walk out of his shop, man, stomping my feet, banging my head against the wall, furious, because I wanted my car to make it at a certain show. I wanted to get out there and it was big and it was exciting. And you know, a lot of my club members helped me build this thing. But back then in those days, before there was a Lowrider of the Year, this car competed with the best of them. There were a lot of Rivieras. Imperials had Technical Ecstasy. The Carnales Unidos, when we're going out to Bakersfield, they had another badass Riviera. And if you go back past Arizona into Texas, there were a lot of Rivieras out there. For me personally, I wanted to have the best Riviera out there. But at the end of the day, I wanted to have the best car. Well, this car took a while to build, and it really didn't. It took a couple years to remodify it. I went out and purchased a brand new Lincoln. Well, I had a Thunderbird before that. Got a Lincoln, and Gary Baca came along and said, sorry your car's taking so long. Let's paint your Lincoln. That was insane, and I got into that. But Dress to Kill is my first car. That Riviera, I've had a few other Rivieras after that I've built, and I always want to just go back to the car, even though they were different colors. It's just something about the hood, like I've said before. Hanging on that steering wheel, I could close my eyes, I can spin that wheel around. I know how to back that in, like I've said before, without mirrors. It's just something, it's like driving a truck, a big truck. You know exactly where you're at when you're backing into a dock. this car above all the other cars I've driven, Cadillacs, Lincolns. You know, you got to check the mirrors, or you got to watch where you're going. This guy, it's like remote control. This is the car. And it's the most radical design of all cars, where everybody goes off and paints them. Wait till you see Philip Line's new Riviera he's coming out with. Might make me go back and think again. Bumpers were molded, the whole back was chopped. I put a tubular rear end grille and a tubular grille for the front of the car. Molded in the lights and cut it all the way down so it showed all grille all the way down to the bottom splash pan bumper. Other than that, every time I go back and clean this car, it doesn't matter what music I'm playing, I can always go back to those days and admire everything, and that everybody, the painters, the upholsterers, the chrome shops, everything that I went through to build this car, and all the fun I had before I did it to a point where I built it where you can't just go down to the market with a coffin in the back seat of your car, right? This thing was just, it was meant to cruise, but once the coffin came in and that interior, some of these legends that helped build this car, though the car is here, they're gone now and they cannot be replaced. Neither can this car now. So you really appreciate what you have when they're gone, and you know you cannot fix it. So I try not to damage it. It's in a safe place right now amongst all its friends up there. There's going to be more pictures, car club plaques, you name it. This is Legends Lounge. All right, everybody, like I've said, behind that camera, there is a vision, of course, but there's also blood, sweat, and tears, trials and tribulation. There are stories, real stories. You hear stories all day long. Which ones do you really believe? That's why this studio, 3 studios in one, you have Legends Lounge right here. Told you what that's going to be about. We have Blvd Cantina. Blvd Cantina will have multiple chairs for multiple show guests. Painters, bodywork guys can join up there. 4, 5, car club presidents, founders, car committee, there's sergeant at arms. We can all jump on that table and tell the real story. Get the facts out there. Recognition for what you have done. There are so many pioneers and trailblazers that nobody's ever heard from. Why? Because nice guys finish last. They don't put their hand up, oh, I got something to say. In here, they're going to say it. I will hand over, I'll be the bartender, but I'll be asking some questions, but we got all a story to tell, all of us here, and it'll all be taken down right here. You'll witness it. If I have to serve over an horchata, or a cold beer, or something even a little bit deeper like a Patron tequila, it doesn't matter. We're gonna get the stories out of everybody. But behind them is our legacy gallery, and it's full of car club plaque. There's a lot more coming. Joe Ray at wiredown.com is how you can reach out to me if you're interested in showcasing your club here. Whether you like it or not, your car club will always be mentioned here. There'll be pictures on the wall recognizing your club, famous old pictures, group pictures of everybody. There's a number of plaques already. You know the burden, what it's like to go out there and believe that the audience, when you cross that line, they're gonna cross the line with you. We're all in it until the end. It's all one car club. But there's many of them inside this place. It's everybody's place. It'll be wrapped around with different car club memorabilia, things hanging from the Raptors, bicycles, lowrider bikes. It's a full-on house of lowriders, a museum. So there you go. And those shows, and there's one other studio I forgot to mention. Yeah, everybody talks about paint jail. We all talk about the performance of cars, dependability, reliability, aftermarket parts, what fits in your 63, what can go in your 59, from Dakota Digital, mufflers, manifolds, you name it. Joe Ray's Garage, Lowriders Only. That will be a separate studio by itself, where we're gonna go Lowrider 101 and talk nothing about mechanics and tell you how to get out of paint jail, how not to just even go there from the beginning. And we'll have special guests that'll tell you what they've gone through before, so that we don't repeat those little problems. So other than that, we'll be filming. It'll be flipping the coin. We're either here in the cantina, where it's always fully loaded and slammed, and it's always 520 somewhere, or we'll be over here at the garage, where there's Lowriders Only.